have devoted quite a bit of time on this program so far in 2020 to the long list of deeply worrisome environmental problems that have been cropping up like dandelions all over the place. It has been the near singular focus for two of my colleagues here at Local 4, Karen Drew and Hank Winchester, and they're both with me now to give us some insight into what's happening behind the scenes to also address these problems, but also the fact that they're so glaring because it took some very fortunate, I guess you'd say, public view of them to even reveal what was happening here. Karen, you've devoted most of your time to what's been going on a little bit downriver with Detroit Bulk Storage. Hank, most of your time on the green ooze on 696. Let me start with you, Karen. We've got now the city trying to take some legal action on it. But it seems to me that there's a very large disconnect for both of you over who's in charge and where the authority lies to fix this.
That's well said, because right when this dock collapsed and all that sediment started spilling into the river, and this is right around that Thanksgiving weekend, there was first no communication that it occurred, and then once it did occur, there was no line of this goes to this department, this goes to this department. So there's just some finger pointing, no communication. Eagle, yes, checks it out, but they don't have any teeth to, quote, shut the place down. And then we uncover that this operation's working without a permit and no one even had this on the radar.
Only one of the businesses on the river who apparently have been operating without a city permit.
Well, that's what led us to say, okay, if this is one company, let's just go check. We found a whole nother pile of aggregate or the material that's used to make gravel at another company, and the city goes, oh yeah, they don't have a permit either. So now we're looking for, well, if they don't have a permit, are they paying their bills? And like we reported earlier, they weren't paying their drainage bill. And all of these unpaid bills and unpaid permits mean less money for taxpayers and also no enforcement to know what's going on along our riverfront. This is an international waterway.
Hank, up on 696, the issue that I come back to time and time again, it kind of boggles my mind, I've mentioned on this program, that when the guy who owned the company was as he was being sentenced, he complained in court bitterly about how regulations were killing his business when he clearly hadn't been following them anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, clearly this is a guy who has a lot of problems. I mean, you talk to people that know Gary Sayers. He was a hoarder. He'd been investigated by the local leaders, state, federal, for almost 30 years. And nothing had really been done other than a few tickets, slap on the wrist. But, you know, to Karen's point, I think this is important to mention, you know, in both of these stories, I keep thinking back to Flint. You know, communication was key. Communication is what caused the disaster there, at least from the public standpoint of not getting the information. Here we are a few years later. You think we would have learned the lesson that at least we should be reaching out to the people. You talk to those people in Madison Heights, business owners right across the street, homes a few blocks away. To this day, they've not heard one peep from the state, not one peep from the EPA, and we're on the news every day talking about a potential toxic dump within arm's reach. I mean, I just don't understand how the state, again, is dropping the ball this way.
And to your point, though, about communication, when it all spilled into the river, City Council didn't even know about it because the Army Corps of Engineers found out, and there was no communication to them. They found out about it from some news people, from some advocates.
And on both of these stories, and these are just two of, as we discussed last week with Liesl Clark here from Eagle, about the thousands of sites that they're trying to catalog and worry about all over the state. These are just two of them. But in both of these, they've been doing testing on both of the sites that you've been covering and trying to put us at ease that there's not a problem here that's any bigger, and yet just the same in Flint. How long is it going to be before anybody believes what they're told about the testing? And now, because there have been questions in both of your stories about the way that the testing has been done.
That's right, because EPA is going out on our site along the riverfront Monday morning, and they're checking. They said, okay, we're going to check all over for radiation. Now we're going to look for basements, because as we reported, this is the location where they actually put uranium rods together in hopes of assembling the atomic bomb. And they're like, oh, well, now we're going to test deeper into that green sinkhole. So now we are
Which was the part we haven't even mentioned that developed after the collapse, the sinkhole behind it.
8-9 weeks later, and now we're going to do more testing. And it just feels like, why wasn't this done earlier? Why wasn't there a plan in place?
And on the green ooze, Hank, we were told, the residents there have been told that while this stuff may make its way toward the lake, Lake St. Clair, that by the time it got there, it would be diluted enough to not be a problem. Candace Miller, Public Works Director from Macomb County, her memorable way of looking at it was dilution is not a solution.
No, of course not. And again, it's like we go back to Flint. I mean, water is one of our most valuable natural resources. And the minute they discovered this problem, which was towards the end of December, the testing should have been done that day. The information should have gotten to the people immediately. You can expedite a test and get a result in 5 to 10 days. The fact that this happened at the end of December and the first time there's a town hall or a public meeting about this isn't until February, that makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, it makes no sense.
The other disconnect that exists here seems to be between the Attorney General's office and Eagle. And who the Attorney General, Dana Nessel, seemed to suggest, well, we're waiting for Eagle to give us marching orders. And it feels like Eagle is saying, well, the Attorney General should be investigating. I mean, there really does seem to be a lack of understanding about how the chain of command works here and who's truly calling the shots.
Very good point. It seems like Eagle wants to crack down, but they don't have the enforcement, and they really don't have the people. I mean, and they don't have enough people on staff at all. And as in reference to the city,
they employ over 1,000 people, and that's not enough given the size of the problem we're talking about.
So that's part of the problem. They don't have the inspectors on a local level because of Detroit River and the permits. They have 10 inspectors and some 15,000 places to inspect. So they don't have the people. So then that's how it all gets backlogged. They say, okay, we need more money, we need more resources. But in the meantime, I'm sorry, I'm a mom, and if I know that uranium is going into the water, even if it is acceptable levels, I don't like it.
And in both of these cases, what has to be done, and I understand it was a different administration, but you have to go back and find out who dropped the ball.
Well, and I'll let you both weigh in on this to wrap it up. I mentioned earlier, the only reason we knew about the green ooze being a problem in there is it showed up on the highway.
Because it was green, thankfully.
The same thing with the dock collapse.
Right.
That was what finally got us to say, what's in all this stuff? So my worry, and what keeps me awake at night on all of this, is what do we not know about what else is in? And none of this is current. None of this was done yesterday. Because of the history of our area and manufacturing that goes back decades, we don't know what's under us.
Yeah. And it's true. I mean, take Gary Sayers, just for example, that one building. He'd been operating there for 30 years. And in most of that time, if you go back, he was on the radar with the feds, with the state, with the local leaders. Yet nothing was done to shut it down until ooze is now making its way onto the roadway a short time after that. So that to me is just unacceptable. When I've got the guy across the street talking to me saying, if I want a building permit, I have to jump through a hoop. This guy's operating like this with this building that looks like a dump. I mean, it doesn't.
Detroit bulk storage.
It doesn't add up. Yeah, exactly.
They did the same thing. They've been on the radar. They've been on the news for not meeting deadlines, having violations, not paying their bills, and somehow it just seems to be okay. And you kind of start to ask yourself, is someone getting paid off? How are they slipping under the radar? Because this can't keep happening.
And the barrels that we saw up in Sanilac County, how many people are just sort of carting stuff off, hoping that it just sort of gets forgotten. Yeah. All right, I'd love to talk to you more, but you both need to put on your hazmat suits and get back out there. It's just unfortunately not all that funny at the moment. But thanks so much for the work you're doing, and I know it'll continue. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more on Flashpoint right after this.